Cuphead. What an amazing, fun game. I love this game like I love no other.
Oh my god, I hate this game.
The creativity, the bosses, the mechanics. Whoever developed this game really put so much effort
Yo,
into it.
like who made this game?
This game filled me with an unforgiving determination, something I never got from any other game.
Bro, like what am I meant to do?
And I can say without a doubt that World 2 had some of the most fun and exciting bosses. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let's go. So we start off with the Candy Queen herself, Miss Von Bonbon. Hold on. I'ma need y'all to give me a second to talk about this malicious, disgusting excuse for a gumball machine. This guy got me killed off screen and on screen so many times with his stupid attack. I have no idea what it is, but it's just shooting random gumballs at you. It makes no sense. Just wanted to share that message. I really hated fighting him. So when it comes to Miss Von Bonbon, she has a range of different servants, each with their own special attack. Each run against the Candy Queen will provide you with a bunch of different servants, 3 to be exact. For example, Lord Gobpacker. This is the gumball machine you saw earlier. Or Sir Woffington, which is who you can see now. There's also Sergeant Gumball, followed up by Colonel Von Pop and Cupcake Carl. All of these bosses have their own unique attacks and abilities, which are all really annoying to deal with, if you couldn't tell. As you can see from my first run against the Candy Queen, I was struggling a lot. This was all really confusing to me. I had no idea what I was doing. I was hoping using common game sense I would be able to understand them and easily avoid them, which was working for the most part, but that clearly did not last. For this run against the Candy Queen, which must have been my 10th run, because I did do a bunch off screen that helped me understand each of these characters more effectively. I will say, especially for the first boss of World 2, she was insanely hard. Compared to the bosses I had to fight in World 1, which you should totally go watch. It's the first video I have on this channel. It would help me grow a lot. Anyways, the sub-bosses do eventually get a bit too repetitive, or maybe I just died too much, but I completely learned how to defeat all of them, which you can see from the gameplay now. I am perfectly dodging them. I still have my 3 lives, you know, nothing too crazy. So it should go without saying that these different bosses have different simplicities, and this wall breaker boss is actually my favorite to go up against because of how simple he is. So, with him, I ended up utilizing my spread shot as much as I could, and easily destroying him. Going up against him just makes you feel like Tom and Jerry. He just follows you around the whole time, expecting to do something. Now it was time to fight the main boss herself, the Candy Queen. So, her abilities are pretty straightforward. First, she starts off by activating her castle. Then she proceeds to pick up her head and throw it at you, and it will continue to follow you, and you need to dodge it or else you will lose a life. She continues to do this the whole time pretty consistently, with the occasional wheel that comes out of the castle's mouth to hit you. But besides that, compared to the other sub-bosses that we had to go up against, she definitely does not have that much abilities that you need to take care of. And just like that, let's see our first and foremost grade for World 2. Considering the amount of attempts I had at this, I will take a B. I'm not doing any more to improve that, to be honest. But, to be fair, as a starting grade for our World 2, it was decent. But now, on to our next boss. Okay, Mr. Genie Man, that's what's up. So, he starts off by pulling out this random chest, and within it are these swords. Despite this run having swords, it does change every single run. So this part of the battle does not last that long. I do easily defeat it, and we move on to the next stage. Now this stage has a pretty cool concept where different pillars would pop up in front of you and you had to shoot the proper one, which was his head. So it was pretty straightforward, especially dodging these shurikens. It was not too hard. This boss so far has been very easy, as you can tell from the amount of lives I had, compared to the Candy Lady, who I lost lives to immediately. Now for this very next stage, all the ego I had, everything I was talking about, my 3 lives, just vanishes in a single moment. I mean, look at this. I get hit back to back, I'm forced to use my ult, which then allows me to defeat this stage and move on to the next. So now we see this shortcut scene of the genie coming back and doing some sort of meditation. And I'm thinking, okay, I'm on the last stage, even though I'm on my last life. I think I could win. Okay, so on our second attempt at this, the genie switches it up by again pulling out the chest. But then this time, an object comes out that releases some sort of cat-like shards that follow you around. Despite this change, the genie is still pretty easy to beat on the first stage. Everything misses me and we move straight to the next one. There's no difference in the second stage on the other hand, it stays the same. However, I did end up using the missiles instead of my rockets here because it is so much easier to just destroy them up close rather than to back away then come close once you've destroyed them. So again, we get through the second stage pretty easily. We still have all our lives, especially thanks to the charm that we got, which keeps our lives on 4. Now we're at the stage of doom and despair that messed me up earlier. However, this time, I just used a tactic where I stayed at a specific position where the guy couldn't hit me. And from there, I just used my bombs and just destroyed him entirely. This round was pretty boring. Nearing our final stage, we get to this position again where I got killed my last run. But this time I realized what to do. It's basically just a concept of where you need to fight yourself, and the puppet version of you just shoots your classic pea shooter. And you'd think on my second attempt of fighting this boss, I would lose a life, or struggle a lot more than I am. But he was really easy and I would not be surprised if they put him onto the first world. Because of how simple he was, I did survive with my 4 lives, but as expected from myself, as soon as I slightly start to develop an ego, something bad always happens. And in any second now, I wouldn't be surprised if I just lost my life. But even so, thanks to the charm I got, I still remain with 3 lives and I easily defeat him, knocking him out, and moving straight on to our results. You can never go wrong with an A minus. I low-key thought that was gonna be an A plus and get another A plus for the series, but you know, we take what we can, we're grateful for what we have, and we move on to our next boss. We are on Beppy the Clown now, and I just wanted to say that this was 100% the most fun boss of this world. I loved how creative it was. The idea of a theme park and having to fight different sort of theme park stages was really entertaining to me. As you can see on this stage, for example, he's on some sort of bumper car and you need to make sure that you shoot these ducks or else they will damage you as you jump. On this very next stage, he instead turns into a balloon and unleashes these balloon hounds on you, and while this is happening, a train may come in and you must make sure to dodge it or else you will lose a life. And here we are, Beppy the Clown is not clowning around anymore.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Stage 3 and he's coming out of the sky riding a mechanical donkey. Okay, listen, I don't know what I was trying to accomplish here, but I know that the vision was there. I was planning on using my ultimate as a bait to, dodge the guys coming in, but that clearly didn't work. Either way, we run it down as usual, but, always on our last life for some reason. We are at the final stage now. For my first attempt at Beppy the Clown, I was not expecting to get this far, so this is a really nice surprise for me, or it was a really nice surprise for me. For what it's worth, I did have no idea on what I was doing at the last stage, as no one would know, but as anyone would, I just held down Q and hoped I could hit every bullet. I see the train coming in from the backgrounds at high speeds at this time, so I make sure to get on these little platforms and jump over them. However, the guy releases some sort of penguins, which then throw baseballs at me, and even though I'm dodging them pretty well, you all know my luck at this point. There's been at least 2 videos so far. Alright, so we're back in the ring with Beppy the Clown. This man is going down. Ooh, I'm not messing around. Okay, no, never mind. But either way, I'm running through the stage like it's nothing. I'm weaving this little man's bumper cars, cause it's like he can't touch me, you know? Boom, next phase. Easy as that. Now he's coming in. He's like a balloon or whatever, right? We already did this before. You know I'm not gonna get tricked the same way twice. I easily pop these balloons. I dodge this coaster.
Boom! Headshot!
And I'm giving him a run for his money like it's nothing. You know, next stage already. 3 lives. We have this in the bag. And here comes the donkey again. You know, this time he does a different attack, but it's pretty straightforward. I just go into the middle and dodge him like it's nothing. Then the train comes in. Boom, tap his nose. Okay, maybe the energy switch up is due now, but you know, 2 lives, it's always good for us. We can still win this, and easily we're gonna get past the stage. And sadly, coming on to the last part of Beppy the Clown, who I said before was the most fun of World 2, I just wanted to talk about the final parts of Beppy the Clown. It's just my opinion, let me know if y'all agree or not, but I think they could have done more. You know, they kept reusing the idea of the train coming around and the fact that you had to jump over it, which is really simple, and made it super easy because we've been doing it the whole time. And when these penguins came out, sure they were quite hard to deal with, however they were pretty easy to clear out, just like how I did now. Then directly after that, I just held down on Q, and that was it for his final parts. I'm not even joking, look. But either way, it was fun. Let's see our final grade. You know, so far we've actually got really good grades for World 2. 2 A minuses and 1 B, which is honestly much better than how we did in World 1. But either way, let's move on to our next boss. Hey, up next, we have some cool looking dragons. Aight, let's go and... Man, come on, please. Bro! What the f am I meant to do? Okay, so never mind that. Up next, we have a not so cool looking bird. I want you to guess what his ability is. No, just guess for a second. You'd think it'd be something associated to being a bird or a chicken in this case. But no, just no. He shoots bullets. Okay, but maybe I'm not giving him enough credit because directly after that he does shoot eggs. And he does have little bird chicklings. And there is also a phase where instead of doing this, he unleashes some feathers on you, which you do need to dodge. That's his hardest part in my opinion. You'll see it when it comes. He has this whole dramatic episode where he goes into a rage and just starts shooting them randomly at you. But they do have some sort of pattern that you can follow, which is what you can see me do right now. However, I did not think I could do this twice, so... And besides having to dodge a little bit more feathers, we do defeat him and move directly on to the next part, in which what seems to be a chickling appears from the bird box, which, I don't know. But, you know, this is Cuphead. It's very creative. So, the chickling has some kind of telekinetic power that allows him to use these eggs to hurt you or something. Listen. Again, this is Cuphead. I have no idea what's going on. But ignoring the monstrosity that came out of this game, we do end up defeating him after losing 1 life, and we move on to the final part, which was pretty weird because he came back and was just completely hairless. I don't know if it was because of the dramatic episode he had or if it was because we broke his little bird box, but whatever happened, he let it out on us because clearly we died. Now on our second attempt, just like the last video, I don't know if you guys wanted less commentation or not, so I'm gonna give you a moment here where you can just watch some pure gameplay. If you want, you can skip to the time that will be shown on the screen. Enjoy. Okay, let's go. An A plus. Guys, calm down, calm down. I know it's our first A plus of the series, but we're about to face the worst boss ever. The boss of doom and despair that I had to skip earlier. This boss was horrible. I can't wait for y'all to see him. Please bear with me on how long it took. Nearing the end of the video. You know, this took me so long to make for no reason. I kept cutting days. But, you know, we gotta stay on the grind and we gotta listen to what our friend is telling us. Don't worry about it. Either way, we're going against this dragon guy again. His attacks are pretty dragon based. He shoots fireballs. He has a tail that attacks you randomly. And, I guess ray vision? I don't know what's up with them and having these random powers, but we get through it easily. Now, the second part of the dragon is less about him and more about these fire troops that come out of his mouth. They all just jump at you and try to attack you pretty repetitively. There's no other special attack that happens here besides jumping on the clouds as you avoid them. Now, I don't know where this came from. I don't know if this is a take on a Hydra, but holy, this was so hard for no reason. I mean, I died so many times, but I keep holding Q the way I always do, and from what it seemed, it was working out fine for me. Especially since I was using Chase, which allows me to hit every shot. And we're so close to nearing the end of World 2. Either way, I was right in saying that we were close to beating World 2, and the Spider-Man would say,
Okay, let's do this one last time. One last time. One last time, yeah? For real this time.
I low-key died a lot more off-screen as well. I was thinking about giving up, considering how hard the final part was, and I'd be lying if I didn't tell you guys that part of the reason to why this took so long to make was that he was low-key undefeatable. I asked for help from friends, and I even watched YouTube videos, which could be considered cheating, but I had to do what I had to do. He was so hard on the final part. I started using this boomerang thing instead, which was considerably better than the pea shooter, but I did keep my chase for the second stage of the dragon because I didn't know how to hit him with the boomerang. On the second stage, as I said earlier, I relied on using chase to hit him, and it worked out for the most part. I don't think I got hit in the stage. You'll see it in the video if I was wrong or not. And nonetheless, it was pretty straightforward. Like I said, nothing much happens on this part, so I didn't struggle with it too much. However, now when we're coming to the final part, I was like really nervous because, you know, I usually rely on holding Q the whole time, but the final part taught me that I actually had to be patient with what I did, or else I'd cause an attack to occur that was really hard for me to dodge. It might have been easy for you guys, but for me it was something else. So if you watch this gameplay, you'll see that I stopped shooting a lot, and I just tried dodging more than not. Whenever the flamethrower was used, I did take it as a moment to shoot them because the flame balls did not appear in this moment, and it did help out a lot, despite that one hit that you just saw. And I also tried using the ultimate ability to dodge the shots, but I panicked and used it accidentally. Either way, it did help me lower them, and during this flamethrower attack, I was too high up on the clouds, so none of the shots were landing, which really annoyed me. Either way, out of panic again, I used my ability hoping it would work on something, but it ended up just being missed. I inched closer and doubled down on the idea, and it worked out really well this time. We defeated him, we finished World 2, finally, what took ages for me. It was over, bro. I'm speechless. Here is our final grade of the whole of World 2. Can y'all believe it? A B minus. You know, we take what we take. I really hope y'all enjoyed. I will be leaving my ranking of how hard the bosses were, from most hard to least hard, as well as most fun to least fun. Let me know in the comment section if you agree or what your ranking would be. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you.